It's still the Good Morning Crossover Monday edition. You know, I'm so used to Friday. I was about to push it to Friday, but it's just the start of a week, and we are seeing on Monday. Friday should wait till I get there. It's going to be a very engaging moment now because we have some gentlemen joining me in the studio to make some clarifications. NLC had given 21 days ultimatum, 7 days ultimatum, and 3 days ultimatum that elapsed yesterday. And there was a bulletin being circulated calling for a strike action by the NLC. And on one side, we have the NLC holding to their demands, while on the other side, we have TUC pulling out of this industrial action. And that is going to lay the foundation for our discourse this morning as we get to know why the division and also make a way forward for Cross River State workers. Good morning, gentlemen, and good to have you. I have in blue, and he is the Comrade Emmanuel Inyang from the NLC. Good morning, Comrade.
Good morning.
And up beside him is Comrade Ponfa Farin, is the auditor of NLC. Good morning.
Good morning.
And up beside me is Comrade Julius Nkoji. He is the chairman of Joint Council, TUC. This is the side of Joint Council, and this is the side of the TUC. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my colleague.
Okay, we have Comrade Clarkson Otsu, is the acting secretary, Joint Council, TUC. Good morning.
TUC representative.
Okay, TUC representative. Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. I want to quickly say that we have to try as much as possible to, I know comrades, when they are having a moment like this, some will want to go uncivil, but let's try as much as practicable to be civil, and let us face issues and not personalities, because I wouldn't mind calling off the interview any moment I notice that we have derailed. But whatever it is, let me start with the NLC. 21 days ultimatum, 7 days ultimatum, and 3 days ultimatum elapsed yesterday. What would you say necessitated this industrial action that you've called?
Okay, good morning everybody once again. We are all in Cross River. We are all living in Cross River, either as workers or as people in the general public. It is no news for us that workers in Cross River have been patient enough. In 2019, when the people were dropped from the payroll, about almost 1,800 or about that, within that period we did not have COVID-19. Those people were employed, most of them since 2015, and some of them had confirmation of appointments. They have enjoyed wage bill as workers in Cross River. They have discharged their duties, and suddenly the people were removed from the payroll. And then when we talk to government about these people being reinstated, one procedure, one process or the other, and then at the end of the day, this is 10 months down the road, and we say COVID-19 is here. We have people who have retired from service as far back as 2014 who are yet to receive gratuity. And these people, as it stands, have spent 6 years. Some of them are dying, some will probably die, and they've not gotten gratuity. And then, as it's the way it's going, His Excellency have done a good part of his term already. And if this continues by 2023, we'll have a backload of almost 10 years of people without a gratuity. And you will agree with me. The only reasons why people want to work in the public sector as civil servants, as against the private sector with higher pay, is just the justification or the thinking that probably if they retire, they'll get a lump sum with which they can go and start a private life with. We have other sitting issues. We have the issue of National Union of Road Transport Workers, who by the law establishing that group, it's a union, and they collect dues from their members. And suddenly government in Cross River State comes up, and in a situation wherein the politicians have taken over their systems, thereby depriving the union of their privileges. We have issues in College of Health Technology, where they approved 2011 Comcast and Comtedi salary structure, which was the minimum wage for 2011 that was approved by the federal government, that was only implemented for that institution in 2018, was slashed in the year 2019. And that is a criteria for accreditation. And if labor, if NLC does not speak about this, it therefore means that in the time not far from now, that school may shut down, and it's still going to be to the detriment of Cross Riverian. NLC is not going on strike to become confrontational with government. NLC is not going on strike to say that we don't appreciate what government is doing. NLC is on strike to say that, government, please, we need you to come and attend to us, because there are issues that are on the table that, if they are not addressed at this point, will lead to the grounding of a lot of systems in the state. These are just a few. As we go on, we'll talk about a lot more.
Okay, I think I will also allow your colleague Emmanuel to also, Comrade Emmanuel Pomfa to also add more on what has necessitated the strike action.
Well, he has said most of the things that were raised. If we were to look at, I don't want to repeat what he has said. We have issue of outstanding gratuities. This government came in. As at the time the government came in, we had a backlog of about 2.5 years gratuity of pay. This government have added another 4 years, making 6.5 years. And just like to re-echo what he has said, in the next 2-3 years, we will have about 10,000 people that will be retiring from service. And it will take a longer time. If nothing is done now, in the next 15 years, the government will not be able to pay the backlog of gratuity that we'll be having. And don't also forget that currently as it stands, we have about 60 or 18,000 workers that are in the service, and in the next 2-3 years, more than 10,000 of them will be retiring, and the service will practically be empty. And you look at the backlog. So this issue is not about NLC. Whether you are NLC, it's about Cross Riverian, it's about workers. Because even as a director, by the time you retire from service, you will come and join the queue. And if God keeps you alive, you will have to wait for a longer period of maybe 10 to 15 years before you get your gratuity paid. So these issues are worrisome. They are worrisome. They are not new issues. And just like he also said, the issue of workers delisted from the payroll. Over 2,500 workers were delisted since October. And as I speak with you, we have had information that 5 of these workers are dead. So you can imagine the kind of hardship, untold hardship that people are going through. And what is the justification on the side of government for not bringing in these people? You say you want to do revalidation. How long will it take? You are here, this government is recruiting a political appointee. Every day, we have seen this government recruiting over 8,000 workers at the garment factory. We had COVID-19. And yet, this government still also went ahead to conduct local government elections, even in the midst of pandemic. So what justification are we even giving?
Okay,
that will not bring these workers back to their jobs.
Let me come here. What would you say, why now? Why are we calling for the strike at this moment?
Strike is actually the last resort. No meaningful organization, even though it is the right of labor to embark on strike. But like I said, strike is the last resort. For us to embark on strike, we must exhaust everything within a legal framework. So we had written government. As a matter of fact, there was an agreement. Labor and government entered into an agreement, and that agreement has a timeline. By March, I think March, yes, that agreement has a timeline. It was supposed to be implemented. At the point government reneged on implementing that full items of agreement. And don't forget, these are core issues. The issue of salaries, the issue of promotions are core element of contract of employment. And by extensions, they are product of collective bargaining. And no party has the right by that agreement to renege or whatsoever. So this is what we are having concern. When that agreement, government refused to implement that full agreement, what government is supposed to do at that point is to invite labor and said, okay, for obvious reasons, 1, 2, 3 reasons, these are the, but labor were never consulted, labor were never invited. Government do not invite NLC. Even when we made an attempt, we sent in our demands through our media address and did a follow-up. It might interest you that we were in the government office for over 4 hours waiting for His Excellency. And that meeting never held.
Okay. Let me come back to the Clarkson, representative from the TUC. I'd love you to respond to the issues raised now.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Cross Riverians. We are not here to contest the validity of the issues raised by NLC. The valid issues we know. If you listen to them, they've said NLC issued a bulletin, NLC did that, NLC did this. Now, labor is a platform, and NLC is not the only platform in labor. There is TUC. Now, even the agreement he has mentioned, It was collectively negotiated, NLC, TUC, Joint Council. If issues arise, our thinking in TUC is that if issues arise, we should sit down in a round table. First, as labor, and say, look, let us pursue these issues. Taking actions unilaterally does not help the platform, it doesn't help the movement. Now, workers' issues and strikes are not popularity contests. Strike is not a tea party. When you declare strike, you have declared a war on your employer. Today is 29th. Talking of timeliness, today is 29th. Why now? The month has ended. The month has ended. If you say you have the welfare of workers at heart, what is wrong with even starting the strike after salaries are paid? Reasons, they appear impervious to reasons. Reasons should prevail when you are organizing a strike, because the effect or the consequence of it is for you to achieve what you set out for your members. It's not just to strike for striking's sake. So for us in TUC, our position is clear. NLC issued a strike notice, issued ultimatums. They didn't think it was necessary to consult TUC. We've never done strike in this state where NLC will unilaterally say we want to go on strike, and then we'll coerce everybody to join the strike. So for us in TUC, we are not part of that strike. We were not consulted. Even when various instances we tried to find a consensus, they said they were going on their own. So we have backed out. We have met with government. Government has given assurance that this July, promotions that could not be implemented as agreed in March, for obvious reasons, they will begin a phased implementation by this July. Now, why were the promotions not even implemented as agreed? One may ask. Now, for some of them, even in the NLC leadership, fraudulently, I thought Comrade Chita would be here to answer for himself. Procure promotion from the Civil Service Commission. Have they got it? They themselves know. Somebody entered service in 2008. This is by 2016 when the cutoff for promotion ended. He's on level 14. Where have you seen that? How he procured that promotion from? He knows. I thought you'd be here so I can answer. And so for him, these promotions must be implemented. But there are numerous petitions, even against him from his office, that are investigating him. Achuta, the vice chairman of NSC. A petition is in the office of from his office to the effect that his promotion was irregular and illegal, and he procured it fraudulently. And you are steamrolling government to implement it. Government is saying, look, we have some issues with this promotion. Government set up a committee to look at those petitions. NSC is in that committee. The committee has met a number of times to see how those issues, for those of them who are affected, can be trashed so that those that are genuine the phased implementation will start. They don't want to wait. They say, no, it's strike now. Now, today, for us, if you have the welfare of workers at heart and you intend to fight for them, within the labor ranks, you will try to build consensus so that your actions can have meaning. So that even those who are outside will not see that labor, there's a division in it. But if you apply unilateralism, you want to go it alone, all the other people are not important, want to do it. We know that then your motives are not pure. Because if you have pure motives, you will ensure that there is unity in the ranks of labor before you proceed on an action so that the action can have maximum effect. Their motives are not pure. As they are there, they have lined their pockets with money. And I say it, and I say it here, so that cross-reference will. Last week, by reason of these threats of strike and ultimatum, government gave them 5 million. And they have shared it. Every person their pockets are loaded, the leadership.
How can you prove that allegation? So maybe you just leave it in the realm of allegation, right? Because
you want because
I think we will not have to handle
I'll prove it.
No, comrade.
It's not a matter. If you want me to bring the distance to you, I mean, we know what we are talking about. So when people have lined their pockets with money and they want to call strike for people to go and suffer, it's not allowed.
Can you say I've become a spokesperson for government?
I'm not talking for government.
Can you say I've become a mouthpiece of the government?
Thank you.
Are you speaking for one of the interests of
I'm telling what I know.
Can you hang on, comrade?
I'm telling what I know.
Can you hang on and listen to me? you don't just make allegations.
They are
Can you
making
now
allegations.
substantiate? Hang on, please. Can you substantiate your claim? Can you
That-
substantiate your claim?
that-
That their pockets have been lined with money.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I said last week, by reason of these ultimatums and threat for strikes, they have muzzled government to give them 5 million. Maybe you needed me to come with approval and the payment to show to you. The records are there. Are they denying? The records are there.
Do you have it there? Do you have it?
In my here with me now.
Do you have it there?
I will bring it so that you will know that what I'm saying is the truth.
Okay. Let me move over to Comrade because you've made a very strong allegation.
Honestly.
So we leave it there. Let me come to Comrade Julius. Comrade Julius, aside from the issues he has raised to counter the NLC angle, what other ways, what other issues have you seen that have brought you, made TUC to pull out of this industrial action, and what is your take on this?
JNC.
Yes. So I'll love you from Joint Council. I'll love you to give your take on this. Are there any other issues that you feel the NLC did not put in place for them to embark on this action?
Yeah, moderator, thank you, and good morning, Constituents. Good morning, comrades. Yes, it's good we are here to marshal out these issues that have been on the front burner of the labor movement today. From the Joint Council, which I am presently, I'm the chairman of Joint Council. From the Joint Council is not appendage of either NSC or TUC. But we know we have majority members from NSC and TUC, and also TUC. So, but when you come measure the name Joint Council, NSC and TUC is silence. So that's where I want workers to understand the meaning. So and that's why when the minimum wage came on board, Joint Council led the negotiating team where NSC and TUC were members, and we negotiated the minimum wage. And when we knew along the line that it's not the minimum wage that was the problem of workers of Cross River State, there were other peculiar issues like promotion implementation and the names that were dropped from the payroll. We had to make sure we squeezed those items into the negotiation, and the thing flew. It became an agreement. That agreement was signed on the 26th of February. So in the course of that, minimum wage has been implemented. Promotions, like the TUC counterpart has just said, and there's petitions here, and even as I see there was petition. I've gone there to clear myself. So for the names that were dropped, if not for the COVID-19, but all along after that, we have written series of letters from the Joint Council end because we negotiated these items. We've written series of letters to government, and we are getting positive response. So if Joint Council had negotiated these issues, and there's a call from the NSC end to go on strike, they never consulted NSC Joint Council and tell us what is the position of things. How far have you gone with government? What is the situation? Can we go ahead? Can we only go ahead? All this was not done. See, some of us have been in service far back 1988. We have the history of strike in Cross River State, especially when Professor Ben Ayade came in 2015. To be frank to you, we have been to more than 7 strikes. So if strike was the fun of it, or if strike was the ultimate result, we wouldn't have been talking of another strike. So strike is a last resort in the labor movement.
Okay, let me come over now to NLC now. Comrade Clarkson too put out some very strong allegations. One, against the chairman, that he acquired, vice chairman rather, that he acquired his promotion illegally. And also that the pockets of the leaders of NLC, their pockets have been lined with cash. Now, would you love to agree or debunk such statements?
Thank you very much. You see,
and are there some petitions coming from the office of the vice chairman as regards there's a petition against a legal petition, even from his office, according to what Clarkson said.
Yes, from the House of Assembly.
All right, thank you so much. I thank God we're on air, and cross-riverians can judge for themselves. Now, the first thing is, if you claim that it is because some people's promotions were petitioned, and that because of the petition, government decided to hold on implementation of promotion, the question is, when was this promotion latest issued? This promotion is not promotion for 2017, 2018, 2019, or 2020. Promotion is supposed to be an annual event. and His Excellency gave approval for this promotion to be implemented and stopped at 2016. Now, how come TUC is defending the fact that government did not say, okay, implement people's promotion who did not have issues, and for people who were petitioned, let them go and clear their issues? I'm not here to speak for Comrade Achuta. Comrade Achuta will speak for himself. But I think if you say that because a single member of NLC was petitioned on how he acquired his promotion, is a justification for why the promotion of members for the whole Cross River State will not be implemented, I think that's quite flimsy. The second issue he has brought up is the fact that NLC has collected 5 million naira bribe from Cross River State government. But Cross Riverians again should judge for themselves. If NLC collected 5 million naira and decide to go on strike, it means NLC has still collected the money and refused to stand by government. And TUC did not collect. Sorry, don't shoot me. No, I am not laying credence that we have received money. I'm just saying that common logic should tell us. And TUC did not collect 5 million, but TUC is an advocate for government. So between NLC who collected money and are on the street for strike, and TUC who did not collect money and they are advocates for government, because ordinarily it should have been Labour speaking against government representatives. But now it is NLC speaking for the masses and TUC speaking for government. And so it is clear, Cross Riverians should go out there and look at it. Now, he had also made he talked about the fact that...
that is not what he said. He said that NLC went on the strike unilaterally without consulting them. But let us quickly leave that there. Because that's the issue he raised, that TUC were never consulted, but he has made that point. Now let me find out from you, Ponpa.
Yeah.
There is a point that the people are saying that this NLC strike is self-serving, is because of personal interest. Are you going to, like what the vice chairman has been petitioned against? What would you say on that?
What personal interest will anyone say about people who have retired from service? As of 2014 and up to date, they have not gotten their gratuity benefits. What personal interest would have been that over 2,500 workers were removed, deleted from the payroll?
They are saying that the NLC is using that as a cover to push.
We are not using that as a cover. In the first instance, look at the plight of these people. Like I told you earlier on, 2,500 workers were delisted from the payroll in September last year. We are talking about 10 months. 10 months. When there was an agreement in March, and the agreement was delayed, the implementation of the minimum wage was delayed, we all agreed that, okay, we should allow government times. Let me also put some record straight. The then chairman, because as of today, Comrade Godis is to become the chairman of Joint Council.
No, we leave that. We leave that.
Now,
because
he will not. No, listen. I'm speaking for NLC. I have the authority. I'm speaking for NLC.
NLC
I am a staff member of NLC.
They have no power to interfere. They have no power to interfere.
Let me also say that. Okay, when that agreement failed, no, listen. When that agreement failed, that they entered into with government, what actions did Joint Council take? Since then, Joint Council had never called a meeting of his members. Let me also put some issues straight here. The Joint Council comprises of 8 industrial unions that are from the public sectors, 1 from TUC, and we have 7 of those unions who are affiliates of NLC. And in our last set meeting, let me put this record straight, that members of the Joint Council wrote a rejoinder disassociating themselves from the position of the purported chairman. They are clear chairman of Joint Council.
Okay, thank you.
So he is not speaking for Joint Council.
Okay, Pompa, let me go over to Emmanuel now. Comrade Emmanuel. At several instances, we've had NLC come out to say that, come out to give the governor several awards as the labor-friendly governor. What has changed? Comparatively, looking at Cross River State and other states in Nigeria, I think, who do you think it's a better labor-friendly governor, and what has changed at this moment?
All right, thank you. I thank God you have brought that up. But quickly before I answer that, let me also talk about, Comrade Clarkson had mentioned that because today is 29th of June, and that salaries should have been paid before we embark on strike. You see, I need workers to understand that salaries are the rights of workers.
Sure.
It is part of the collective bargaining of the agreement for any contract of service, of employment. So when people begin to think that salary is a favor done workers by government, it shows that we're beginning to forget our place as workers. Now, the truth about it is that government, in as much as we have done our jobs, government is under obligation to pay us. And then strike is only a medium of the workers' representative to call the attention of government to the areas they are not finding things easy in the course of their contract of employment. You have asked me a question concerning...
I would love you to stick on my question, and it is the governor labor friendly?
Thank you very much. Labor,
because on several occasions, yes, your Congress.
Don't worry, let me help
awards. So is he a labor friendly governor?
Let me help you. Now let me help you. Labor issued that award to His Excellency the Governor, and that is because at the time Labor appreciated the effort His Excellency the Governor had been making to ensure that Cross Riverian gets all they are supposed to get. Now, in the course of our interactions, Labor is there as an ombudsman, so that at the time when the government is doing well in this area, Labor comes out to say, government, you're doing well, thank you. And at any point when government begins to say, okay, they are slagging behind in this area, Labor is a calling back, say, government, please, this area is not being handled. Can you please give it attention? So that we give His Excellency the award does not also mean that when we at any point in our interaction, we realize that things are not going down well, that we should not also come out to say, Your Excellency, as much as we appreciate all you have been doing, this area is not going down well. And that is the essence of strike action.
Okay, so let me still stick on you, Comrade Emmanuel. Let me still stick on you. Now, the idea is that the calling of this industrial action, is it being taken at an advantage on the governor for his humane nature?
All right. I want you to please look at the labor. Let me talk for NLC at this time. And please also appreciate how much we have shown understanding. This is 10 months since people woke up from sleep one day at the end of a month like this to realize that their salaries were not paid. And they ran to the Office of Accountant General to realize that their names have been delisted from the payroll. Now, within this period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10 months had gone. That's to show you how much Labor had tried at different forums to see how to apply diplomacy. We have tried as much as possible to see that we don't overheat the system. But when that had not worked, the former Joint Council Chairman had mentioned that in the negotiation they had in February, the issues of promotion and some of these agreements were part of the negotiations that they had. And for that reason, they paid what some faction of labor leaders call minimum wage. That I'm sure they won't be able to answer what percentage was implemented. That's true. Because if we sit here as a labor representative, I don't know what percentage was implemented. Now, that aside, we say, okay, we're letting go of all that because we want to look at a situation where government can effect implementation of promotion, call those people back from payroll, we can sacrifice our minimum wage. Now, if all of this happened, and February had come, agreement was met, March, minimum wage was not implemented, April, it was partially implemented for some people, and this is the end of July. And they have, end of June. And they are saying that that the minimum wage agreement had yielded results. Does it not show understanding from the part of Labor? Now, quickly before I stop, let me say that the reason why the NLC is coming out is because out there in the streets, people don't know Joint Council. People don't as much talk about TUC. The perception when it comes to all this kind of action is the fact that the NLC is not doing it.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Definitely we know that there is NLC, there is TUC.
That is the problem.
It will be quite derogatory to say
that is the problem.
NLC.
And that's the problem. Thank you, sir.
Because you don't have to talk down on another
Let me respond. You see,
Comrade Clarkson,
yes,
Comrade Clarkson, let me come to you.
Yes, sir.
Now, it's very obvious that Cross Riverians, they have named the governor a late master. He pays very early. He was among the first to implement the national minimum wage. Now, what has changed now? I would love you to respond to the allegations that the NLC have raised.
Thank you very much. You see, that is part of why we think the strike is ill-motivated. I stand here, I sit here and talk as a labor leader based on conviction. Because when you're leading labor, you're leading people. We are not here to play to the gallery. We are not engaging in a popularity contest. If the strike has genuine, if the people, NSC, who wants to go and strike, have genuine intentions, first, they will seek consensus that, look, there is an issue. And as a platform, as a movement, as labor, we need to collectively pursue it. Labor thrives in collectivism, in solidarity. The moment you begin to say, like he has said, TUC, nobody knows TUC, you see the problem. Unilaterally, NSC thinks that, oh, they can embark on strike, and even TUC people, whether they like it or not, they should follow. My dear brother, as leaders, people put you in position so that you can take decisions on their behalf. It is not every decision you take that will be popular with the people all the time. But importantly, you should take decisions that will, at the end of the day, those who are taking it for will know that yes, you took a decision that initially they did not understand, but they have come to see that it was for good. This strike at this time, is ill-motivated. The motives is not what they are putting forward. The issues I've said, those issues that have been stated are valid issues. We are not contesting those issues. If you have valid issues to push, and you know you have TUC whose members are affected, you won't say this thing you're saying to the public. That NSC, everybody knows NSC. TUC, nobody talks of TUC. So we will go on strike without TUC, without joint council. Let me come to Comrade Julius. Comrade Julius, joint council. On the 1st of May this year, we had TUC and NLC in the studio, and they were together. There seems to be some division at the moment. But Comrade Julius, would you say that the pulling out of TUC from this election discredits the action? The strike. From this strike, does it discredit this action? Yes, Mr. Moderator, before I go into that question, let me quickly clarify some issues. And I'm very surprised that some of our comrades who are lawyers don't seem to understand the composition and the legality of composition of joint council. And even from our comrades who have been in labor for quite some time, so we need to know the difference, the demarcation of all this, and how the joint council is constituted. Let me educate you and educate the public. Joint council is made up of 3 different councils. Council 1, which is the association between Council 1, Council 2, Council 3. And before I met as a chairman, all the 3 councils had a very composed meeting, and election was done, and I met. So today, Council 3, which majority of them are in NSC, cannot go and sit in NSC sec and say they have removed joint council chairman. Government knows me. I've been introduced formally everywhere. I've attending national meetings, and I've negotiated minimum wage for the workers. And what is my crime? They said, throughout the course of this issue that I wrote to the government now has invited a joint council. Come and give clarification on these issues that you said is bordered on the workers, which is promotion and names that were dropped from the payroll. And we got there on Friday. What did we get? We got commitment. Friday. We got commitment from the deputy governor. But after passionately appealing to him that this promotion, yes, we understand these are the issues. But those that are genuinely given, they should be implemented along immediately. And it's always with us. So also the names that were dropped from the payroll. As we speak, this July, they are commencing social distancing. We've assured him that Labour will even provide manpower to make sure we observe social distancing. And even NUT assured His Excellency that we will give logistics if logistics is the problem. Understand? So if all this, we have done all this, why would somebody go and sit in NLC say a joint council? So back to my question now. Back to your question. Does it discredit this action? No. You're pulling out, does it discredit this action? Well, just like I said, they have the right to go on strike.
TUC has the right to go on strike. Even affiliate union has the right to go on strike.
Well.
But if they feel they can go solo, that is not how we've been doing it in the past. I've been in labor in 1989. Never a time we go on strike in this measure. So we don't really know what they intend to achieve. Because maybe some of them are still too young and they don't know the history of labor movement in Cross River State. Those of us that have followed labor in Cross River State will know the equaling task involved. So for us to say I belong to NLC, TUC doesn't matter, Joint Council doesn't matter, he's a former Joint Council chairman. Were you there in my election? Okay, maybe none of you were there. Why are you speaking more?
Let me still stick with you now. Let me still stick with you. You are from the Joint Council. Can you fill us in on the various negotiations you've had as a result of this issue that has dragged for all this while? Can you fill us in coming from your council?
Yeah, that's what I've just said. That shortly after the negotiation that was agreement that was signed on the 26th of I lead the
February.
I lead the labor side to that agreement. NLC was there as an observer or witness. TUC was there as an observer or witness. So along the line, they implemented a minimum wage in April. So the two items that are left, promotion implementation, they discovered that petitions came up all over, just like I said earlier. IT was petition, and just like the Vice Chairman NLC, it was petition. So we have all appeared before the panel, the committee. The other item, the name that were dropped from the payroll, we are all passionate about it. Nobody that doesn't have a relation there. So nobody should cry more than the bereaved. So now, if I let that negotiation and look at the level it has reached, and after those agreements were delayed, normally in labor practice, when your agreement is stalled, you don't just rush to strike. You have to write to remind the government. And I've written 2 different letters. That was one of the reasons why government called us on Friday. And I went there, they gave us green light that we are ready to do this, we are ready to do this. So if government is that ready, why can't we talk to ourselves in the labor circle?
Okay, I'm quickly going to ask you this. Do you see the labor umbrella comprising the NLC and the TUC and every other one? Do you think the house is divided?
Well, I wouldn't say the house is divided. Probably maybe some little misconception. But let me also put some record straight. The Minimum Wage Act was signed in April 2019. And going by that, the arrears start counting from the month of April. Now, labor in the state kickstarts the negotiation in February, and as at the time of implementations, we had a backlog of arrears that will have been implemented alongside. What the Joint Council told us is that they had to step down on some of those issues with a view to push government to return back the 250 workers that were delisted from the payroll. 2 was that government should also take immediate steps to implement the issue of promotion. Let me educate and also let Conservarians understand that as at the time the negotiation was completed, the financial implication translated into 250 million or thereabout. Now, in the course of that negotiations, they went ahead. The His Excellency did not consent to the 250 and offered to give a lump sum of 100 billion that will be spread across the 80,000 workers, or maybe more than that, 16,000 workers across the states. What I expected is that having trade on the issue of arrears, having compromised on the issue of minimum wage, as I speak with you, if you ask where is the template for the implementation of the minimum wage, the Joint Council cannot provide a template. Some barely got 2,000, some 3,000, and less than that on the minimum wage. Now, what I expected is that, having gone by all of this, I expected that the Joint Council has a moral body to return back to government, having reneged on the agreement and the timeline that was given in that agreement. They had a moral body to return back to government. And look at, from that time to now, what are we talking about? That these workers that were delisted, their means of livelihood have been taken and nobody is bothered. And we are talking about 1 month salary that is ill time because salary is yet to be paid.
Okay, Comrade Pomfa, let me go back to Comrade Clarkson too. Aside from the point you had raised, has been the reasons why you're pulling out of this action. There's also an allegation that this action is self-seeking, that they're doing it for the purpose of their leaders in NLC. Would you want to comment on that?
Yes.
Can you tell us clearly?
Yes. For their leaders in NLC?
Yes.
You know,
it's for a selfish purpose.
It is. Now, I have stated clearly that in the course of this agitation, there have been 5 million. I stand by it. I will bring the documents so that you will know that what I'm saying is the truth. I don't know what they bargained for.
Is there, apart from that, is there any other thing?
Any other thing in
why
terms
they are
of
still holding very strong?
The motives one will not know. The motives apart from the pecuniary this thing, one will not know. But you know, my dear brother, look, if you have genuine intent, I've been saying it. If you have genuine intentions, there is a procedure for strike. You will follow it. Look, without prejudice to the issues that have been raised,
you try to meet with them.
The issue of non-implementation of promotion, dropping of names from the payroll, without prejudice to them, which we agree are valid issues. Strike has a procedure. Mark you that this, what do you call it, for the names that were dropped, particularly, a day was even set for their verification. It's unfortunately this COVID setting.
That was in March.
In March. Yes, COVID setting and lockdown came. Now, within the lockdown, one couldn't do much. But the moment government eased the restrictions on religious activities and then held election on the 30th of May, Joint Council wrote 2 letters. 2 letters. One, to let government know you have eased restrictions on religious, people are gathering. You have conducted election. People gathered. Based on that, let us return to those issues that were not addressed in our MOU.
So would you say that this industrial action is ill-timed?
It's ill-timed. Okay. I have said so. We have said so repeatedly. It's ill-timed in various ways. Look, as we speak here, we must be frank to ourselves. If I talk, they say you are speaking for government. But the truth has to be told. That's the truth. Okay, now, let me finish that. Okay, please, I have not finished. Okay. Shortly before this minimum wage was negotiated nationally last year, most states began implementation this year. As we speak, not half of states have not implemented it. Who is hearing it again? The thing has gone to the COVID-19. It has gone to the. Are you aware that in some states salaries have been sliced? Are you aware of that? Look, we have said this is not. We are not saying that the issues are not valid, but it's ill-timed. The motivation is not genuine. If it were genuine, you would build consensus to ensure that that strike works. If it was genuine, even the efforts made by the Norgay president to ensure that there is a commonality of purpose, which they brush aside, will let you know that there is something they are pursuing that the rest of us do not know. That's why I say their motivations are not genuine. They know what they are looking for. If it is for the interest of the workers of this state, you will seek consensus. You will if you say people should know salary is not important, let me come to that point. Salary is a right. Salary is a right. Who will work salaries? Is it not civil servants? Is it governor?
Okay,
if people go on strike, who will work salaries for people to be paid?
Okay. Let me come over now to Comrade Emmanuel. He has raised a few issues there, but I'd love you to comment. Did you follow, did NLC, not you now, did NLC as a body follow due process? Just you have to state it categorically. Did you reach out to every stakeholder under the labor cluster before embarking on this action?
All right, thank you very much. I want to just very quickly say that let's put on the table that our comrades have identified certain issues. First of all, former Joint Council Chairman had agreed to the fact that NLC have the right to go on strike as a labor center, not necessarily needing to get any other affiliate or any other Labour House to do that. We have that right constitutionally. Secondly, Comrade Clarkson have also been able to establish that the bias of TUC concerning the strike is not because the issues we have raised are invalid, but because NLC have not carried them along. So they are saying that the reason why they are now advocates for government is because NLC did not carry them along. And I would have wondered that if that was the case, rather, I'm coming to you very quickly.
It's going to be a question of yes or no. No, Comrade Emmanuel, you need to just take the yes or no. Did you follow due process, yes or no?
Yes, but sorry. You know the reason why you shouldn't allow it at the yes or no? Okay. Because this session is supposed to be educating. So don't just hush it at the yes or no. Let me first of all inform you that the issues on the table that have led to this strike are not new issues in Cross River State. That NLC in this state have embarked on strike before for the issue of promotion implementation. Labour, organized labor, strike on the issue of promotion implementation, the issue of gratuity, and almost other issues that are on that list that we're talking about now. And even at this point, notices were issued. And on several occasions, the SAC of NLC have reported efforts that have been made to call TUC, to reach out to TUC, that TUC had deliberately refused to attend to until ultimatums were issued to government, that they now started coming to see how to come to the table. The truth about it is that NLC can no longer keep sitting back and watch her members as workers suffer.
Okay, fine. Comrade Emmanuel, I'm still going to stick on you now. Remember, we had made Comrade Clarkson to substantiate the 5 million. How can you substantiate that information you've given to the public that TUC or the Joint Council are on the side of government?
Well,
and talking for government.
Well, Comrade Clarkson have just done that. I don't need to substantiate it. He is saying that the Cross River State implemented minimum wage, and I'm shocked because they are saying that so many states have not. We should say few states have not. No, please don't hush me. In any case, should we be comparing ourselves with states that have not implemented minimum wage? Is Cross River supposed to always be ahead, and we had always been? Are we supposed to be comparing ourselves there?
But you know that what comes in from the federation account for Cross River is very low. So I think the statements you say that they are speaking for the government. The last time I checked, this gentleman here are not commissioner for information or SA on information. So would you want to withdraw that statement?
Let me justify.
We have the mouthpiece of the government. Could you withdraw that statement?
Let me justify my statement.
Could you withdraw that statement?
Sorry. No, don't preempt me. I'm entitled to my opinion.
I know, but
you did not tell him to retract 5 million.
Remember that we are on a live TV.
I will not do that.
I don't recognize them as the commissioner for information. You cannot say they are speaking for government.
It is my perception. I have the right to freedom of speech. I am a citizen of Nigeria. It's my perception. I can be right or wrong, but that's my perception.
I'm not entitled to my conviction.
Leave it at that. Okay, Comrade Clarkson.
Yes,
sir. Before I get to you, Comrade Julius, you've heard what they said, that they followed due process at some point. Emmanuel, right? Emmanuel, that they followed due process. You are from the Joint Council negotiation team. What would be your reaction to what NLC has just raised?
Well, the mere fact that earlier on he made that statement that they can go on strike without resorting to any other labor center tells so clearly that they never did any consultation. If consultation was made, is when the chairman met us in the office of the head of service and just announced to us, I'm going to issue 14 days to government. Clarkson asked him, have we met? Wisdom would have doubt on him to say, okay, I've forgotten to call these guys. Let us invite them. Let us look and articulate those issues that we are about to present to government. Let me tell you, for instance, like the minimum wage they are saying the job was not implemented. Was the first item in their ultimatum, which was very wrong. I negotiated for those minimum wage. You would have found out from me, has the government paid or not?
Don't use the word I. You are not joint council. Don't use the word I.
I'm still a chairman of joint council.
Don't use the word
I am joint council.
People gave you the mandate.
Were you there?
That time.
Were you
Joint
there?
council is a council, not an individual. Not an individual.
Okay, let's allow
you are there on representative capacity.
Remember that when you had your day,
nobody came to you.
Let's
So what I'm saying is, talk of that due process. And after we did that, the president saw that they have not consulted us, and we were not moving in the same direction. He convened a meeting of NSC, TUC, and Joint Council. We met in a particular corner, and we tried to. By then, 14 days was already on. We said, well, before this 7-day ultimatum is gone, why not we try to come together and sign this 7 days together? So that this thing will be strong and it will be respected at the government circle. Before we knew it, right in that meeting, the vice chairman stood up and told us that they have already issued 7 days ultimatum. We said, so the meeting we met previous day before this one, after this meeting we will issue 7 days, was it a sharp play? They said we should not worry that before they issue 3 days, we will carry it along. Before we knew it, they went again and issued the 3 days. So where did they do the consultation? So that's where I'm saying I don't really know the motive. Because if you talk of strike, what do we really want in strike? At the end of the day, you go back to sit in a round table with the person you are striking with. That's why before you know it, industrial relations, we were there together, we were in school together. You, the moderator. In industrial relations, the two parties must still exist. No matter what, you cannot strangulate your employer. You strangulate him at the end of the day, where will you get their salaries? Okay, that's why we must maintain
let me come down to Comrade Clarkson. Let me come to you now, sir.
Thank you.
There is an allegation that you raised, and I told you, we told you, the NLC and every one of us said you should substantiate that. Now, the NLC is saying that you are speaking for the government.
Yes.
Would you accept or you would resist?
Of course you now won't accept. But of course you know, when you stand in the position I'm standing, that's what they will say. That's what they intended to do. That's why they adopted the unilateral approach. So that they can blackmail us and steamroll us into the strike. Now because we have said no, we will not accept. They are now saying we are speaking for government. Look, this strike and the procedure and the processes is procedurally wrong. Wrong! I say so because, my dear brother, every activity is regulated by law. Trade unions are regulated by law. Their actions are regulated by law. Look, the Trade Union Amendment Act provides that if you want to embark on strike, you must have the vote of your members to support the strike. Now, over the years, as labor, that's why I kept saying that there is a motive. Let me land on that the procedure.
Let's just hang it this way. Yes or no, are you speaking for the government?
How can I speak for government as a labor leader?
Or no? Okay, so gentlemen,
how can I speak for government as a labor leader?
This is where we are going to leave it hanging. Really, because of time, we cannot continue. It shows that the labor cluster is divided. But whatever it is, we'll still bring them back. NLC has called for an industrial action that has started today, and the question is, how is this auguring well for the public? We know that His Excellency, the Governor of Cross River State, is a labor-friendly governor. He has received several awards, several encomiums for all his actions with labor. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I had been talking with Comrade Emmanuel Eyoga from NLC and Comrade Ponfa Farin. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And on this other side, I had Comrade Julius Nkoji and Comrade Clarkson. So, gentlemen, thank you. We'll be bringing you subsequently to still get to know that the Cross River State is a unique state. And hopefully very soon that we'll see how we can lay this to rest. It's still the Good Morning Cross River Monday edition. I'm so good at saying Friday. I've been all my life doing Friday, but Monday it's been a very special session here talking with the gentlemen from NLC and from TUC. Whatever it is, we are hoping for the best for Cross River State. Please stay back and let's enjoy the rest of our programs.